What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And in this video, we're going to go over what is going to happen this week with the second stimulus check. It's going to be a big week coming up. But first, if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on second stimulus check update videos. My wife and I do all the research for you guys every single day, so we can bring you a quick, concise video to give you all the information. And don't forget to smash the like button down below for us. It really helps out our channel. Okay, first up, we're probably going to have a lot of things going on with stimulus checks and unemployment and related news this week. First up is the Senate comes back to session this week from their recess, and they've been working on a new stimulus bill every single day. They've been having conference calls every single morning to iron out the details of this next stimulus package proposal from the Republicans. Now, the Republicans have said that they've been working on this every day to get the details so that the Democrats will like the proposal also, so that they won't pass a bill that's dead on arrival for the House. So the Republicans control the Senate, so they can pretty much pass any bill they want. But the Democrats control the House, so they have to have an agreement between both parties to get it passed in the House. So the Republicans have been ironing out the details so that they think the Democrats will like the bill and will approve it. We're going to be receiving the details of this stimulus package this week. We don't know if it'll include $1,200 checks. Both the Republicans and the Democrats have said numerous times that they're both in favor of stimulus checks again for a second round of $1,200 and also checks for all dependents this time around. We also don't know if they'll include a unemployment extension to the end of the year. Both sides have said numerous times also that they do want to extend the unemployment before the end of the year. So either one of those could be included in the package that the Republicans are proposing. We don't know if it's going to be what they're calling a skinny package, which is a small stimulus bill, maybe about $500 billion to a trillion. Yes, $500 billion is considered a small bill nowadays. Or if they're going to pass a larger stimulus package around $2 trillion that they've been negotiating on almost every day with the Democrats. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and also White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows have been negotiating with the lead Democrat, Nancy Pelosi, over the next stimulus package. They did bridge the gap between the two parties of how much they want by $500 billion last week. So they are closer now than ever to getting the next stimulus package out and the next stimulus checks and the unemployment extension. We just don't know the details of what all they're going to put in this bill. We don't know if they're going to try to do smaller bills and pass smaller bills. We don't know if they're just going to go ahead with a $2 trillion bill. We're going to probably find out a lot of that information this week. We had a lot of news from the White House, from both Vice President Mike Pence and President Donald Trump here within the last few days. Mike Pence has reiterated that they want to send out direct stimulus checks to the people in the form of actual stimulus checks, $1,200. But he did say that they would need approval by Congress, and that's why the negotiations are so important. President Donald Trump had a slightly different idea. He says that there's $300 billion in a fund that's already been earmarked for virus relief or stimulus, and that he wants to spend that money and use it on stimulus checks to be sent out directly to the people. He said he would like to get Congress's approval first, but if he can't, they're exploring the options of doing a presidential executive order to use that money that's already been earmarked and pass it in a stimulus check before the election. We also have a verbal agreement to prevent the government shutdown here within the next month between Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, but they need to come to an actual agreement this week. If they can do that, they can get the government shutdown out of the way, and that leaves them more room or more time to just negotiate on the stimulus package and the unemployment boost and all the stimulus related information. We actually want them to come to a permanent agreement and pass this money for the government shutdown, not only to prevent the government from shutting down again, because that was a big disaster the last time that happened, but also so that they can concentrate on the stimulus package agreement and the unemployment extension and the stimulus checks. The Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi have a verbal agreement that they're going to not include those together in a stimulus package. They're not going to include a stimulus package and the government shutdown in one package. They want to negotiate on those separately. Now, of course, that can always change. That's just what they're saying right now. And you know how politicians are. Every 24 hours, there's something new. So we hope that they can actually just agree on that and get that out of the way. It would be nice if they included the stimulus with that, but we are going to receive the stimulus package from the Republican side most likely this week. It's pretty close. They've been working on it every day, and they did say they are going to announce it this week. We're also going to be hearing a lot of information about the virus vaccine that they're urgently trying to push out before the election. The president is calling this vaccine Operation Warp Speed, and it's a little scary because the last vaccine that the U.S. made was the mumps vaccine, and it took them 4 years to make this, and they're basically doing this vaccine in like 6 months. So it's definitely a little scary. Drug company rivals are coming together to reassure the public that the urgency to develop this virus vaccine won't compromise scientific regulatory. Several drug makers developing this vaccine plan to issue a public pledge not to seek government approval until the shots have proven to be safe and effective. An unusual joint move among rivals that comes as they work together to address concerns over a rush to a mass vaccination. A draft of the joint statement still being finalized by companies including Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna, and reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, commits to making the safety and well-being of vaccinated people the company's priority. The vaccine makers would also pledge to adhere to high scientific and ethical standards in the conduct of clinical studies and in the manufacturing process. We believe this pledge will help ensure public confidence in the virus vaccines that may ultimately be approved and adherence to the rigorous scientific and regulatory process by which they are evaluated. Let me know down below in the comments if this makes you feel better about taking a vaccine, and if a vaccine does come out as early as next month before the election, are you and your family going to take it? Are you going to be one of the first people to take it in the first month? It's a very interesting proposition as they're getting this out so fast, but yet there's so many people suffering from the virus that it does kind of make sense to get it out so fast. But will it have long-term side effects? That's what we don't really know because they haven't been testing it on humans for many, many months or years. So, it would be great if they had a year of tests where they are testing right now on humans in several different trials. But the problem is they've only been short term. They haven't had a year to test it. So who knows what could happen down the line. I also covered in this video here on my channel how the vaccine may become mandatory for school children to go to school, just like right now there are vaccines that are mandatory for children to go to school. And will that become mandatory for this vaccine to also be mandatory within the next school year or so? It's a very interesting proposition. And are you going to have your kids take it if they make it mandatory to go to school? So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and smash the like button for us down below also. Click on this bottom video to watch my video about how the vaccine might be mandatory for school children, and this top video is my newest stimulus check video. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.